Welcome everybody here. Welcome everybody. We are here to honor and congratulate the students of the month for the month of March. I will call out your name for the student and give you a certificate. Well, actually, I'm going to hand the certificate to Commissioner Davis and Commissioner Campbell are here to help, and I'm going to call your name. You will pick up the certificate. We'll shake your hands, and then at the end of all of that, we'll be taking photos. So please stay up in front once your name has been called. We're going to start with Bailey Thomas, Browning Pierce Elementary School. Emery Wright, Children's Reading Center, Charter School. Congratulations, Emery. She came too close. Mackenzie Koba, James A. Long. Okay. Congratulations. Adrian Romero, Kelly Smith Elementary. Congratulations, Adrian.
Adrian, congratulations.
Liam Pitts, Mellon Elementary, Mellon Learning Center.
Oh, okay. He might not be here.
You said Melon?
Liam?
But Liam?
No, it's Emmanuel from Melon.
Okay, that will,
Okay, yep.
Oh,
that's next. Emmanuel Rivera at Mellon Learning Center K through 12. Congratulations, Emmanuel. Jewel Mosby, Mosley Elementary. Jewel, congratulations.
Congratulations, Joel.
Aiden Plateau, Peniel Baptist. Samaya Edwards, Putnam Academy of the Arts and Sciences.
She's not.
Okay, well, I gathered that. And that's it. Thank you, everybody, but we're going to stay up here and take photos. Educators, please come up to take photos.
And then go through individuals with the parents.
Mom, let me call you back.
I'm calling this meeting to order. It is the City Commission meeting on March 12, 2026 at 6 p.m. Pastor Mulberry will lead us in the invocation, and Commissioner Jones will lead us in the pledge. Please stand if you're able. Pastor Mulberry? He's up there, though.
Father in heaven, thank you again for your loving kindness and tender mercy. We thank you, God, for allowing us to come together once again. We pray, God, that you will look on our nation. If there ever was a time that we need you, God, we need you right now. We pray even for the wisdom in this meeting, God, as you come together to do the business for this city. God, give us wisdom and guidance by the Holy Ghost. Give us what to do and how to do, God. Remind us of our civility, God, and all that we do that will bring you the glory. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Campbell,
Present.
Commissioner Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Warren,
Present.
Commissioner Davis,
Present.
Mayor Guerrero.
Present. We have quorum, thank you. Has everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes for February 26, 2026?
Motion to approve.
I have a correction. if I
I'll
may.
second it for the
Go ahead.
correction.
I have a correction. On the section that references the workshop, there's a date of March 11th in that paragraph, which should not be there. I believe we voted on March 18th. The rest of the paragraph is correct, so if you could correct that. Thank you.
Thank you. We have
Motion
a,
with the correction.
okay. We have a motion with a correction?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes?
excuse me, I would like to add to the agenda a presentation. We have a person that traveled very far.
Okay, although we didn't advertise it, so I'm not totally comfortable with
So
that.
can it be then a public comment instead?
Yes, that would be preferable.
Thank you.
Thank you. On to city manager and administrative reports, annexation update. Mr. Agamo?
Commissioners, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is just a brief update of the program, the annexation program that staff has been working, following your directions. As you know, the city has attempted, to eliminate the existing enclave for some time. Very recently, we had a meeting with the city, with the county, and we attempted, to advance an agreement, a boundary service agreement with the county. So like I said, this is an annexation program. The intent is to eliminate the enclave. The Florida statute has as a policy to eliminate enclave in the state of Florida. So we are very consistent with that. I just want to touch the items that we've been working on, the staff has been working on, ahead of your workshop, that you still have to set it up so that you know what you're working on. There are some aspects there are some points that we've been concentrated on. And these are, the first one is the legal aspects of the voluntary annexation. We want to make sure that whatever we do is consistent with the statutes and with the law. We're also looking into the benefits of the voluntary annexation into the city. We want to explore what benefits it could bring to property owners. Also, we are looking at the main benefit that the city could have, by eliminating these enclaves. And obviously, we need to know the capacity. We're working on that of our utilities to extend the services to these enclave areas. That's the critical component for whatever we do with annexation. We need to make sure, that we have the capacity to provide water services, sewer services to the area to be annexed. We're also looking into the fiscal and financial impacts of providing those services. As you know, providing those services is not something cheap, it's not for free. And that would include also not just water and sewer, but it would include police and fire service as well. And finally, the last point we're trying to address is come up to a priority of areas that we could annex to these enclaves. And then obviously we have to do a reach out to the community to get to the areas of the annexation, to explain, like I said, the benefits to property owners and also to the city. So that is what we're working on. We're going to be presenting at the workshop to you, maybe in the form of a white paper about the elimination of these enclaves, and we're going to bring some maps, so you have a very good feel for what it is.
Any questions of Mr. Agamo? Obviously, we're going to delve into it much further in a workshop. Okay.
Just one thing.
Go ahead.
Yep, but what was your timeline again for the?
Well, we're waiting for the city commission to set up that workshop. We've been working for the last few weeks on this.
Okay. All right. Well,
That's fine. So we have a workshop upcoming this week, and so when do we want another workshop?
So we have one on March 18th, I believe.
Yes, that's this week. Next
Karen,
week, I
can you
should
see a possible date?
Next week, actually.
Workshop.
And we have a lot of budget workshops coming up, so
Yeah, we have.
do we want to do it in early April? Do we want to do it before the end of the month? I'm just throwing all that out there. What are we thinking? So we have one on the 18th. Do we want to do it the following week or wait till April? The week of,
If I may,
right, I a couple of dates. What day of the week do you prefer? Go ahead, Mr. Agama.
it's just a personal thing, I would like to be part of this workshop, but I'm not going to be here.
That's right, you're gonna be on
vacation,
okay.
so
April.
I would request that we do it in April.
Yeah, no, we need you
April.
here. We
I
need
do
you
want
at
to
the workshop.
participate.
Yeah, we need you at the workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we get back to the
Please,
commissioners?
that's what I was thinking. Why don't you
Okay.
get back to us with some
And we'll
potential
send you
dates?
communication.
When will you be back? I think we need to go ahead and put it on the calendar.
The sixth
At least put the dates.
Right after Easter.
Okay,
Okay.
so,
So we can get dates right now, after the 6th?
I gotta go into my office to get that. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I needed the dates today.
Okay.
would it be possible for us to just submit our dates since it's in April
Yes,
sometime?
some
So
dates.
submit them in a timely manner
Yes.
within the next
that's
week.
fine.
We will.
I mean, we have another.
We will
commission.
communicate.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can just submit each one of our availabilities in April.
Oh, that
Now,
would
I
be
think it's
great.
best to come up with a couple
We
of
have another
dates.
commission meeting, so possibly we can have this as something that we can iron out prior to.
The commission meeting.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
For the workshop, Mr. Lorenzo,
I'm sorry.
some information that would be important to me is for those potential areas that would eliminate the enclaves, if we could understand whether it, even if it's not the exact number, because we do provide services to certain people, I believe, for a higher rate. So when we're talking about capacity, some of those areas that's not annexed in may already be receiving some city services. But if we could get a feel of what that number looks like as well, so we can have an accurate understanding of the capacity potentially needed.
Yeah, our intent is to identify, those anklet areas, like, area 1, 2, and 3, and then have some data attached to that, each area you can see. Some of them, like you said, are serviced already by water and sewer, some are not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor Carrera, I have the dates up there on the screen for April. Those are
Oh, for-
April
For
meetings.
current meetings, okay, it's already scheduled.
Can you make it larger?
Yes, ma'am.
Would be helpful.
Ninth,
Perfect.
April 9th, is that what would possible?
April 9th is the regular commission meeting,
Yeah.
but you were looking for a workshop?
And we have a budget workshop on the 8th.
On the eve,
So we could.
So do we want to choose a date now, or do we want to wait and have some? Does anybody want to
What,
respond?
what about doing it after the CRA meeting? It's at 5, so that's from 5 to 6.
With any luck, yeah. I mean, that's up to the majority. I'm fine with that, if that's what the board would like.
It's better than adding another meeting day.
Yeah, let's just
That's
roll
fine.
with
So
that.
you're
It's
saying
already there.
On the 6th?
No,
On the 20th?
20.
On the 20th?
The 20th, the CRA meeting, then it's at
April
5 from 5 to 6,
Right.
and then we roll on into a workshop.
Workshop.
I can address it as immediately following so that there's no time set.
Please, yes.
Okay.
Is
Thank you.
everybody okay with that?
Yes,
Thank
ma'am,
you. Okay, now we can move along. Thank you. City manager report.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, commissioners, everyone. Just wanted to give some pointers on, if Karen, I'll wait for you, but the organizational chart that we have finally kind of updated with positions that have been filled. And so I was hoping that we could see that. And also, there was an analysis that was completed, and she's waiting to bring that up, with the Avalon. Okay, there's the organizational chart, small, but we'll send it to you so everyone have an opportunity. I think
We already have a big
yeah,
version
oh, good, very good. Thank you, Karen, thank
Can
you.
you make that larger on the screen?
for the community.
So basically, this takes into consideration positions that, we were charged with filling over the past 2 years, and fortunately, a good portion of them are now filled, such as procurement, that never existed before. The public information officer is there. Yeah. It gives you a snapshot of where we are and what we're doing. So it's just for your appreciation, the administrative assistant, the engineer will be on board soon, and so that person, we're looking forward to that. So this just gives you an understanding of how we're flowing today, and this is what we're doing, actually. So just wanted to give you an update, okay?
Thank you.
Can we go to the ad valorem, please? So with that, basically our ad valorem revenues are about projected in this budget year to be about 4.7 million. Our finance director is here, but it constitutes an average of about 23% of our general fund, and also the ad valorem revenue supports public safety. And public safety is consisting of fire and police, and it supports both of those departments by almost 60%. And one of the analysis that we worked on recently showed that our operational budget is about 40 million. So if we were to lose that 4.5 million or 4.3 million, it's about 10% of our total operational budget. And what we're doing, we're gaining that kind of information so that we can start developing strategies and avenues as to what we will do. Initially, one of the first areas that we would look at would be capital expenditures. And so I just want you to know, want to keep you updated that we are preparing information, and we intend to inform the community more as we get into that. The next item was vacant lots. Just wanted all of us to be alert that we have 118 city-owned vacant lots, of which 41 are preliminarily determined to be available for potential redevelopment. 31 have limited opportunity for development, and 46 are considered non-developable. I don't know, Karen, can you catch up? Or you can't?
It's not letting me.
All right, and that's okay. Also, there were 11 lots which were adopted back in 2023, I believe, by the commissioners to be available for affordable housing under the Live Local Act. So we are going to have a workshop on vacant lots. So I just bringing that to your awareness. We are assessing the lots as well.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Well, she just actually answered, because I wanted to know if there was a list of those properties that we would be provided, but she stated that we are going to have a workshop, so.
Yes, sir.
I'm good.
Okay. And then finally, I wanted to give you an update on joint city-county update that we are beginning to work with the county staff to follow up with the recommendations that were made at the meeting in January 2026. So we're hoping to have another meeting scheduled between March and April.
It sounds like April's more realistic.
At this point, yes, because we are communicating back and forth.
Thank you.
The other item I just wanted to mention was about the, we're going to look more at the boards, not so much the composition of the boards, but some of the ways that we can improve our boards, meaning like the number required, the making sure that we're doing some of the steps that you all recommended, such as absenteeism, those kind of things. And I'm just alerting you that we are having to look at that more carefully. We did have a situation where our planning board was not able to have a quorum, and so we want to correct all that as much as we can. So legal is working with that as well.
Thank you. Any
Did you want to
questions?
say anything? Okay.
Any questions? The city manager? Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
I would, when we're referencing these items that we need to consider, and we're saying consider them at a future workshop, right now we have 2 workshops already scheduled. So my question is, when we're saying at a future workshop, can we add it to agenda so we can create these agendas so we know what we're talking about versus just putting it in the atmosphere at a workshop?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
And the same for the vacant lots. I mean, same thing. We
Yes.
said, so can we put those? Can we add that to the April 20th meeting since we're already talking about annexation?
Yes, ma'am, I
For
will.
sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to public comments. These are public comments for items that are general, not specific to anything on the agenda. Items on the agenda, will have public comment for those items at a later time on the agenda. Is anybody here for general public comments? And I have some cards. Mr. Alexander, do you want to provide public comment now, or do you want to wait until we get to the agenda item? Mr. Alexander, do you want to come up now during general public comment, or do you want to wait till we get to the item on the agenda that pertains to the murals? It's up to you. Okay, come on up. Hey, you gotta wait. Excuse me, yeah. Come up, Mr. Alexander. Please give your name and city or town of residence.
Xander, 919 Carr Street, Palatka, Florida. Madam Mayor, Commissioners, I feel that the Collins and our Mural Committee has set the bar of excellence standards pretty high for a product that has stood the test of time. That people have traveled here near and far on cruise ships, tour buses, and in their own vehicles to see and hear the stories of Palatka history. We use the best paints, we pressure wash, clear coating, we touch up the murals, we use accurate information so that our QR codes and brochures will present a quality product that the community and visitors can enjoy and be proud of. If anything, these groups that are forming recently should be following the standards of the Collins Mural Committee and they should were set since 1998. In our opinion, the murals should be grandfathered in as an automatic part of our city. For generations, the city has assisted us and helped us. They supported us. The city has been a great help in the past. However, with prices rising and many of our older murals need to be repainted, we need more funds. The Conley Snyder Mural Committee has, the Conley Snyder murals have been good for Palatka. I hope Palatka will be good to the murals by not approving new committees and ordinances. That's why we're called the City of Murals, painted by the best artists, quality work that has been done over the years, not just the past 2 or 3 years. Our founders, the late Commissioner Leon Conley, Clint, and Elizabeth Snyder, loved Palatka and had high standards, which we continue to follow today.
Thank you. Please hold the applause, please. Hold the applause. Thank you. Mr. Vickers? Mr. Vickers? Yes, come on up. Name and town, city of residence, please.
Askew Vickers, 207 North 18th Street, Palatka, Florida. I'm here to inquire with the understanding about your impact fee that you, I don't know if you imposed it, it's still out there, what's going on with it? I've been trying to call somebody to find out, and I can't get it on the phone. Thank you.
Ms. Duke?
Vicki Duke, Palatka, Florida. I have a question about the intermediate, do I need to push the button? Okay. About the intermediate school that's on Horseman's Club Road, is whether that's a city school or is that considered a county school? Does it have, does the city supply them with water and sewage treatment at that school? So my question actually dealt with the fact that there's no sidewalks from the new school to the subdivisions that are there on Horseman's Club Road. So if it was a city school, I was going to ask about that and the fact that there are no sidewalks. And I think there should be sidewalks from our brand-new intermediate school that's right in the middle of subdivisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Rod James? Please give your name and town or city of residence.
My name is Rod James. I live in Polk City, Florida. I'm a former resident of Palatka. I was born and raised here. My family was born and raised here. And I'm here in my class, the class of 1969. Rod James, I'm the president now of the 1969 graduate of Central Academy High School. And I know that most of you know about Central Academy because it was the first African-American school in Florida that was fully accredited. And back in the day, that meant something. And I'm sure it means something today, too, to have your school fully accredited, because it means that your school had the resources, it had the teachers, it had the building, it had everything for those children to go forward. And I was one of those children. I became a warden, 36 years with the Florida Department of Corrections. So I'm here now to straighten something, or have you straighten something. For years, that school was there, and we had one man who stood in the gap and came downtown to advocate for those students, and that man was Fred R. Brooks. Mr. Brooks brought in great teachers to teach those students. He brought in teachers whose names were Ragsdale and Willingham and Cooper and Henderson. I mean, he did a great job. Now, two of his teachers, Ms. Ragsdale and Coach Cooper, have things named for them in this city. Ms. Ragsdale has a housing community on the west side of Palatka named after her. Coach Cooper has a recreation center, and he's co-named on the Palatka High School football stadium. But there's nothing that recognizes the efforts of that old man. And that old man stood in the gap. His greatest saying was, whatever you are to be, you are now becoming. I mean, up and down the halls all day long, trying to encourage young black kids to go and do their best. I love the man. He lives on the street where my mother still has a home, on Napoleon Street. And the reason I'm here now is because stand up, please. We want to rename Napoleon Street in his honor. We want Napoleon Street to, in the future, be called Fred R. Brooks Avenue. I mean, that old man, wherever he is, if you're able to do that, we'll be smiling now. I mean, the street is named Napoleon, but Napoleon was a general on he fought in what? Europe and Asia, but he never set foot on the North American continent, nor did he step foot in north side of Palatka. But commissioners, we need to do something for Mr. Brooks. You know, we renamed the school after one of our classmates, Jenkins, when he turned to middle school. But when that was happening, a lot of people in Palatka thought that school would be named after Mr. Brooks because the man was beloved. He's still beloved. I drove all the way here to come and ask you to do that, to put this request in, to have you change the name of Napoleon Street to Fred R. Brooks Avenue. I went up. That's my, I think I got it out. Could I have a half a second more?
Half second.
I went through Walmart, I walked down Napoleon Street and asked people. Now, there are young people now who don't know Mr. Brooks, but their parents do. And they say, Mama told me about that, or Daddy told me about that. So Mr. Brooks' name will pass into obscurity unless we do something, and we don't want that to happen.
Thank you. Please hold on the applause, but thank you. Mr. Aldick, do you want to speak now or wait till that topic is on the agenda? Okay, come on up. Give us your name and city or town of residence, please.
Good evening. My name is Abdul Rahman Satuddin Aldiq. I live in Palatka, Florida, 209 South 4th Street. I attended the information session about a week or 2 weeks ago about Port Consolidated. I've been working since then with local businesses and other developers to activate that space. We've had a difficult time with process and access. The city says it wants local residences and business incubators to activate these public spaces and these public-owned buildings. Please consider what it takes to actually get that. I'm talking about process and access. That would go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here for public comment on general items? Come on up, Mr. Clunch.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Commissioners.
Could you give us your name, please?
My name is Robbie Clunch, Palatka, Florida.
Thank you.
Sorry. I would like to start off by personally, openly, and publicly apologizing for my outburst at the last meeting. I would also like to acknowledge your city clerk. She is phenomenal. She has worked side by side with me for the last 5 or 6 months. I will tell you part of that was because of her actions at the last meeting. But she took it out of her time to personally email me and apologize for misspeaking at that meeting when she realized that she had made a mistake. It also comes from the fact that I stand up here and I talk openly about my situation. And then I sit down in one of those chairs and I sit there and I listen to your city manager make comments that are not accurate. On December 11th, approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes into the meeting, your city manager stated that she met with me. She had not met with me. That was halfway for the reason for my public records, to prove that to y'all, because I had addressed that to certain people on the dais, and it was not addressed. So, with that being said, that comment alone, being stated in a public meeting, is an ethics violation. So I'm asking you to hold your one employee accountable for her actions. Because earlier this week, she pretty much stated to me, Mr. Campbell, you received my email, and 100%, if I have time, I will state what's in that email. And that is 100% my goal. But earlier this week, she basically told me that she no longer wants to have communication with me. She has told me this multiple times throughout the last 5 or 6 months. But she turned me over to your attorney this week. That's basically asking for a lawsuit, especially when you haven't gave me my public records yet. Your attorney did exactly what Mr. Borum asked her to do at the last meeting. Her original document that I received on January the 30th contained 3.8 megabytes of data. The one I received from Ms. West yesterday contains 1.3 gigabytes of data. If anybody has any kind of computer knowledge, that is a very large difference. A very, very large difference. And that is because her employees were not giving Miss Karen the documents that she needed. That is why there's such a difference. At least that's my belief. But once again, I 100% want to tell you, I appreciate Mr. Campbell because he's the only one that responded to me after the last meeting. And I 100%, if I don't know how it goes about, but if Mr. Campbell could show you that email that I sent him afterwards, I'm not worried about Oak Hill West. I'm worried about all 3 cemeteries.
And you have to
My
finish up.
future goal is to have all 3 cemeteries beautiful, with irrigation, landscaping, sod.
Please finish up, okay.
And one other thing I want to clarify, you made a comment on the December 11th meeting that came up today. I never asked the city for money. My contribution was, I'm willing to raise that money myself
Thank you.
and pay every last bit of it. It's $1.8 million to fix Oak Hill Cemetery. I've already done the math.
Okay, thank you, please.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
Is there anyone else here for public comment? Seeing none, we're going to close public comment. Do we want to provide responses, please, to these
Yes, I would
items
like
brought up?
to. Okay.
Okay, 1 minute, Commissioner Campbell.
Commissioner Davis was
Commissioner
first.
Davis, first.
Yes, I'd like to respond to the comments from Mr. James in the class of 1969. I had the opportunity to speak with them, so I want to be transparent about that. And I do know they have taken the efforts from what they were told to do to obtain the signatures needed from citizens of Palatka for the renaming of that. And so what I'd like to just ask is for the city manager to outline what's needed to officially enter this request in for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell?
I wanted to address the concerns Mr. Robbie just made in complete transparency. After the meeting, I did follow up with him to ask him exactly what was his desire of the commission so that I would have a clear understanding. And part of that documentation within that email was ultimately to basically sponsor, or not sponsor, or help facilitate a community cleanup in our local cemeteries as one. And I offered that I do believe that is something that is tangible if we work together as a city, as well as organizations or anyone else that would be interested. He has been very up forth and, you know, with regards to his request, and I think somewhere in there may have been a miscommunication, but ultimately it is to beautify those cemeteries. And I do believe that is something from the city's perspective that we can partner and try to make that community effort, because I'm sure if he thinks about it that way, there are others that think about it and would be willing to help chip in and provide whatever services they can to help beautify our cemeteries.
Thank you. Anybody else before I turn it over to Ms. Connie? Go ahead.
Yes, I mean, I want to respond. I mean, I didn't respond to your, Mr. Clunch, I didn't respond to your email in that regard, but I do support the efforts relating to that. And again, the email that you received on behalf of my request to the city manager and whoever the designee was to obtain that information, yeah, it just comes from knowledge of having the information of how things work from a technological standpoint. And so I'm glad you was able to get your information that you were seeking. To Mr. Vickers' comment around the impact fees, I'm not sure who you was trying to reach or how many times you called. Do you have any, what number you call, who you talked to, as it relates to impact fees? Because we have people here that answer phones and should return your call back. So that's just what I would like to obtain.
I'll let Mrs. Connie speak to that and
I'm ready.
also have her connect
Yes,
Mr. Vickers
thank
with
you.
somebody who can help him.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay. So as it relates to the mural with Conley Snyder, and just.
I think we're.
No, we talk about
Let's
impact.
finish the discussion,
Oh, okay.
Mr. Vickers,
I
and
was
the impact
going
fees.
down
The
Okay.
impact fees.
All right, for the impact fees, I'd like Mr. Lorenzo, if you can tell us more about that. Impact fees, how we collect it, how we calculate it.
I think
I
that
don't know
Mr.
what the
Vickers is
question
looking
is.
specifically for somebody to reach out to him.
Then it would be, he can reach out to Mr. Lorenzo, and he will tell you anything you need to know about impact
I
fees.
think his question was the impact fees in force? And I think he was trying to obtain information from whoever, I don't know who he called, but we just need to understand and know if we're getting back to me. Say he I don't know if he left voice messages or what, but we just need to be more customer focused.
Okay, well,
And we are
yeah.
talking about the city impact fees, not
Right.
the, not the.
Only
county
city
impact
impact fees. We can't talk about county because we don't,
So I
that's not
think
our.
giving Mr. Vickers the
Yeah,
extension
Mr.
number so he can call Mr.
Lorenzo,
Alfamo
Mr.
directly,
Lorenzo, right.
please.
So can you just?
Well, that's a concern of mine, though. Here's what we got. It's a concern of mine that Mr. Vickers said that he's been making calls. I'm not sure who he called or if he left a message or whatever, but I need to understand and know if he left a message with somebody and they didn't get back to you. We owe we owe our citizens
We definitely
responses
do.
back. We are public servants.
Yes.
Since for transparent, I received a call today from Mr. Vickers that I have not returned yet.
No, I mean, no.
No. So I want to be clear. So you're opening a can, yeah.
Miss-
Right,
Mr.
No, he did
Vickers,
not.
when did you call?
Now, let's,
I do believe
don't do this,
that,
please, at the meeting.
Mr. Agamo, if you would be able to make
Connect
contact
directly
with
with
Mr.
Mr.
Vickers.
Vickers.
I'll be
so
happy
that-
to, Commissioner.
Right,
I'll be happy
okay,
to meet with
that's
him.
what I was trying to do.
Thank you.
All right, so can I respond to
You
anything
can just
else?
respond now, excuse me, go right on to you were talking about the mural committee and Mr. Alexander's.
Yeah, with
Concerns.
Mr. Alexander, please feel comfortable with connecting with myself and Ms. Nicole, so we can help you. But I noticed you were speaking about an ordinance. Is that what your concern is?
Let's not have a give and take. Somebody connect
So
directly
just
with
please
Mr. Alexander.
contact us and we will follow up.
That's,
Okay? As it relates to the, I think I wanted to go more with Mr. Clonch with the.
No, ma'am. No, we're not, no.
So
Mayor,
please just come back to the office and we will work with you and address whatever your concerns are. That's all I can say.
Commissioner Campbell.
I would like for us to get a
Met
better
with him,
grip as to who is to respond
To whom?
to whom, and that's just pretty much all I'm gonna say. Because a lot of times responses are based off emotions, and that is not what we're here for. And so in order for us to make this more effective, I would like for us from the dais to gauge and direct a little bit more as to who would respond to the concerns that have been brought before us.
Commissioner?
Yes, I agree with Commissioner Campbell. What I will say, in terms of Mr. Vickers, he said impact fees. I'm not sure what the question is, but I do know that that information should come from the city, and someone should reach out to him, to Commissioner Campbell's point. The other point I'd like to make, and some of this is in relation to Mr., is it Con? Clonch. One thing I want to just clarify is roles and responsibilities. And while the call might have gone to, and I don't know the details, but this is a general statement, while calls may go to the city manager to speak to her directly, whether she called or not, and that's something we'll look into later, but every person who works for the city of Palatka works for the city manager. And sometimes, and again, we will look into this, sometimes what the response looks like is the appropriate staff member following up with you to try to get you that information. So I do want to, I'm not excusing anything or any perception, I do want to state that fact, that sometimes the city manager may not call back, but if someone on her staff calls back to follow up on that, they work for her. And so nothing should occur in a situation like that from her staff, especially with the city attorney and the city clerk, that the city manager is not aware of. So I do want to make that statement. And I will say unequivocally that it is not the desire of this commission nor the city manager, and I feel confident speaking on her behalf as our one employee, to disregard citizens or comments or questions or any inquisitions that occur. So continue to report them if you find that to be true. And I tell you, we all take that seriously, as you can hear from the dais now. So thank you. I just want to make that clarification.
Thank you. Any further comments?
The
Go
one
ahead.
thing, and Ms. Cardy, you're regarding Mr. James. We can move.
Yes, I
Okay,
will move
thank you.
forward with that.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes, I would give him complete guidance and the forms and so forth. to
Thank
fill out.
you. And did you have something, Commissioner Warren? Okay, thank you. On to the consent agenda. Are there any items to pull from the consent agenda? F?
There were just a few other issues. Ms. Duke's
Okay,
inquiry.
sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Lorenzo Aguimo could probably address whether or not the school on Horseman Club Road is
Oh,
in the
yes, I'm
city's
sorry.
jurisdiction.
Yeah, I had it
I
down.
don't
That's
believe
in the
it
county.
is.
It's the
It is the
county.
county.
That's the county, Ms. Dukes.
Well, let Mr. Agamo come up and say that, and that we shouldn't all be yelling. Thank you.
Can you repeat that for me,
That
please?
school that Ms.
The school on
Dukes-
Horseman
school.
Club's on
the
Horseman
county.
Club Road.
Oh, that's the county school.
And she also has questions if we provided water.
Correct.
Yeah, I will have to check that with our water utility department to see whether they're being provided.
I'm sorry,
suppose they
Mayor,
will, they
I
have to.
cannot hear. There's a lot of talking.
Who-
Could you?
For those of you who are talking, please don't. It's hard for us to hear
Yeah.
if there's multiple conversations going on. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Agamo, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, water and sewer have to be provided to the school. So I will check, with the utility department, with the public works department, to see whether that's the case. But it
Thank
is a county school.
And so therefore, part of the question was also sidewalks. We're not responsible for the sidewalks.
If it is in the county, we're not. If it is in
Yeah.
the city, we do have a requirement that they have to put sidewalk. However, if it is a project that is being done by the school board, they're exempt from our building
Yes.
permits, and,
Right.
we have no jurisdiction.
Thank you. Thank you. Did we miss anything else?
The comment about the port consolidated process.
Oh, yes, sorry, my bad's gone. But go ahead, does somebody want to respond to that? The question was access, it sounded like access, as I
I
understood.
believe all that is being requested is access to
Access.
see the interior of the building, which we've done before with the public. I don't see a problem with doing that again.
So again, somebody would need to call Mr. Aldick and set that.
Do we have his number?
I can get the number to you. You will take care of it, I can get the number to you, his number
Okay.
to you. Okay, thank you. Are we set? Thank you. Sorry for missing those. Consent agenda, so item F was pulled. Anything else?
Aye.
I?
Item I.
You don't have anything?
Item I.
Aye. Okay. Anything else? Paul?
I would make a motion that
Okay.
we accept the consent agenda excluding items F and I for discussion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. Item F, adopt please, no conversations in the audience. It is kind of disruptive for us, sorry. Adopt Resolution 2026 R39, authorizing the purchase of real property located at 225 North 2nd Street, Palatka, also known as the Liberty Church property, for $175,000. Commissioner Barnes?
Yes, I just want to have that item pulled so I can understand why the city is interested in acquiring properties.
Okay, if I may?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, because we're in the midst of looking also at Port Consolidated and preparing for the future development and expansion, I am interested, if it's possible, and I did send it to commissioners for, feedback, et cetera. That property is situated right next door to our annex building. It would help solidify our block, for city expansions, et cetera. So that's why we're interested. Also, we were looking at it for a possible community, commission expansion, et cetera. So I'm just looking at that property, asking for permission to continue.
Question. Where is all of this funding coming from?
Well, as you know, this funding, there are some funds that we've allocated that we're not actually spending right now because we cannot. Let me pull this 175, hold on.
My concern is we're taking additional properties. It's already off tax roll, but we're the city, we are seeking to go out and pull. And you mentioned also, you mentioned to me the hotel. So what, I need to understand and know our long-term and what kind of funding we have that we're acquiring so many properties, and we're seeing some of the financial reports that we're falling short in certain areas in various departments. And so where's all this money coming from, being that we only through ad valorem tax get about $4.7 million a year through just base ad valorem tax. And we're heavily funded through grants.
And so we do have the funds, if I am allowed to expand in that area for the benefit of the city. But it is a commissioner decision. I think I put all of the information in there. I cannot find it right now.
Okay.
But it would be in the best interest if you'd
Okay,
like
one at a
us to
time.
talk about it further.
Yeah, I think we need a better explanation of where those funds are exactly
Yeah.
coming from. I think that's what Commissioner Barnes asked.
Okay, hold on, let me
And,
pull
and
the
then
folder.
Commissioner Campbell
In
also.
addition to
HI.
what Commissioner Borm has stated, I do feel an item of this magnitude should not have been on the consent agenda. This should have been a part of regular business that would allow us the opportunity to hear the presentation as well as have us to have the discussion. So I'm grateful that Commissioner Borm pulled this item. In addition to the statements that I've already made, I think that we need to be mindful of things that are placed in certain areas on our agenda, because it does not give us the opportunity to really vet or really be able to dive into some of the discussion. Because again, you're asking for this $175,000.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you have to provide, and you stated that you sent us email. Did
Yeah.
you receive any feedback
I
from
did
that?
request it.
I'm saying, but did you receive
No.
feedback? That should have been an indicator that if I had not received any communications back from anyone that sits on this dais, that it should come to us in a different manner.
Okay.
And so I would like for you to really take those kind of things into consideration, not stating that, agree with Commissioner Bowen as far as the funding, but again, allowing you to explain the vision that you do have and making sure that if we are in agreement with the alignment of that. So again, I take those things in consideration as we move forward, that
Okay.
some of those things should not be on consent agenda, but be more so on regular business so that we can have the proper discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner Quam, and then it's
Ms.
Commissioner Davis.
Pierre has.
In my last couple of comments about how we're spending money on buildings, I mean, we've spent several $100,000 on the River Center before. We brought it up to snuff before we got rid of it. We spent several $100,000 on that within a year or two before we did away with it. Now, that's another comment. You're building out the annex over here. There's a number of offices going in. I need to understand and know what the capital improvements are, or the remodeling costs that we're doing on the build-outs of the building next door here. Then we still have things that we got to deal with next door that's going to be it's going to be monstrous.
But it's not funded by us, but next door,
Listen.
just letting you know.
Let him finish, please.
I hear what you're saying,
Okay,
but what I'm saying is we gave up a building that we were getting money from rent on it, and we end up getting that. So we just got to figure out why we're spending the money the way we're spending it. It don't make sense to me.
Commissioner Davis, and then I'll turn over to you, Ms. Pierre. Commissioner Davis.
What I hear being asked for from the dais is an overall vision, right, to explain. And without that overall vision, it's hard to understand the pieces and parts that are coming and that we don't know what it fits into. And I think that's what I hear the commissioners who have spoken say. So that would be helpful. My question is, for this particular property, is there a time constraint?
legal, if you could address that.
So
please.
I'd like to get more info.
Ms. Pierre, you wanted to say something. Come up to the podium, please.
Yes, the letter of intent
It's in here.
that was sent
It's
out
here.
on February 27th contemplated a due diligence period of 60 days from the effective date of the purchase and sale agreement, which is all contingent on commission approval. So if the commission doesn't approve,
It does.
it doesn't go through.
So the
Hold it.
LOI,
Okay, no.
go ahead,
Commissioner
one at a
Johnson.
time, please.
No.
Go ahead.
You're on.
I'm confused about the letter of intent. I mean, okay, question. Did it come from anybody up here from the dais for us to be looking at? Because I think we set the vision for the city, and we set the full vision for the city as to how the city should operate for the year, and you should execute that. So did we provide you with a vision to purchase that building and move forward with that and with this letter of intent?
No, only
Okay,
the
no,
fact
thank-
that so where the confusion is then, so let me speak directly, is that when I'm sending it to you to ask for your, do you agree to this? Is this okay? I'm thinking that if you don't respond, that it's okay. So
Stop
now
thinking.
I know better.
Stop thinking. No. What you need to do, we need to have a conversation. Everybody need to be on board with it, and we'll agree. Don't send emails because you don't get a response. That doesn't necessarily mean we're
No, I
saying
know.
yes.
Right. So, and since you said that, then given that you said that, then this should not be on the agenda until I can hear from you better,
And especially not on the consent agenda.
especially, right, thank you.
I did ask Ms. Pierre to come up first, before, not to be rude, but go ahead, Ms. Pierre, quickly.
Just so it's just in the record that part of the process, anytime we're spending funds, whether it's to purchase property or anything, we have no choice but to be transparent, because that is a requirement. So in this case, yes, it was a request for $175,000, and in the memo or in the staff memo, there's an explanation explaining that this would be a budget transfer from a restricted fund that's reserved only for capital. The funds would be coming from Rolling Hills Stormwater. In cases, as you know, sometimes we have money set aside for a project. If the project comes under budget and there's extra funds available because the project was under budget and the Public Works Department was so amazing, then we have extra funds.
I hear what you're saying.
And so we can't, just keep in mind that we can't just spend things any way that we want to. We are constricted. We have to comply with statutes. We have to be transparent. That's part of our process, and that's included in the staff memo, just for the record.
But it wasn't initiated from this board.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
thank you. And Commissioner Jones was first, please.
I don't have anything.
Oh, I thought you were
think
going to say something.
Commissioner Bourne have addressed
Okay, then
it.
go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
So I want to offer what I got from this when I was preparing for this meeting. I did look at it. I did look at the questions that are being asked are very valid. I also asked Ms. Carty about it in my one-on-one meeting. What I understood that I don't feel is being said, that I felt I understood, that I'm not hearing tonight, is that it was part of, and my understanding is when we're looking at this gateway, I'm just saying that's what I understood. It was part of this gateway and this, city complex, that this property became available, and it was offered because it was directly next door to our annex, and it was offered to the city, is my understanding. I also understood where the money was coming from, because I asked the question earlier, and I understood that that's what, I think it says it somewhere. I've read too much this week. But, so that was my understanding. Now, whether it should be on the consent agenda, I agree, because I think we all need to discuss it. But I also, that's why I asked the question about the time constraint. But I thought it was part of an overall vision, not saying that vision came from the commission, but from this gateway and this city complex by owning property contiguous to our existing property. That was my understanding before I got here. I just didn't hear the answers to the questions that the other commissioners have asked. Thank you.
And I don't have an issue with if she has the vision. No. I'm just making a statement. If there is the vision and it's something that it needs to just be brought before us in a different manner.
Okay.
I'm not stating that I'm for it, and I'm not stating that I'm against it, but I am against something like this being on the consent agenda versus being on regular business, so that we can hear clearly what your vision is or the vision, and then being able to properly discuss. So,
And I concur. That's the issue. Thank you.
Right, and I agree, and I understood the premise of it all and what the intent or the hope was, but I agree this was not the place for it.
Right.
So, with that said, we just want to,
I make a motion that we table this discussion until our next commission meeting and add this as regular
Right.
business.
Thank you for the guidance. Thank you.
okay. We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Aye, release of lien at 1315 Laurel Street, Principal Partners LLC. Commissioner Jones.
You have to tell why you pulling it.
Right. What was, why did you pull it? What would you like to know?
Because,
Well,
because
no, it just,
code enforcement have been spending time, effort, money to go out and actually enforce the code.
and the violations, we actually have these fines imposed on folk that are not in compliance. If we're gonna, I've said this before, if we're gonna reduce the liens to nothing, why do the enforcement? Because we're just wasting our time. We're talking about the homestead exemption taxes maybe going away. So that means we're gonna have to, our department's gonna have to have revenue coming in. I'm just looking for the city side, because I'm happy that, that the homestead tax exemption may come, because it's gonna help the citizens of Palatka, a little town like this. But also, it's a double-edged sword. The double-edged sword would be, we're gonna have less tax dollars coming in for our EMS, fire, and our infrastructure. So I understand that. I understand the importance. So that's why I wanted to pull this as an example and say, when we have all this work going into getting liens on these properties, why after this is the property and it actually was tore down. Is that the property? It was tore down. Why are we gonna, and I know that the property owner actually tore the structure down, but if we went and did all the work, why are we gonna just wipe out the entire lien? Because I thought it was only 50% of the lien anyway that we could actually wipe off.
I thought they said that the lien was paid in full.
The cost. Well, that's why I put it, to explain it. Because it says $10,000, then it says 45, right. So, but they're asking for the 4,500 to be, if you explain, Mr. Lorenzo, then we won't have this debate.
I can explain the best that I can. I didn't put this item on the agenda. I believe was probably the city attorney.
Christie.
But let me explain something to you. When this item comes to you for a lien reduction, it's either because the property has come into compliance.
I understand that.
Which is the purpose of the code enforcement, is for us to bring property into compliance. We don't want to go, with fines and liens, that's not the purpose. Our goal is to bring property into compliance that have violations.
I totally understand that. I totally get it. But do you understand any of the part that I just explained?
Absolutely.
Because it was a little broken up. But do you understand where I'm coming from? So I know you said the attorney. So you referenced the attorney. So it keep happening. So could we just explain why do we get it up here to go ahead? And it was a consent agenda item. So we wasn't going to discuss it, but it keeps happening. And there's some smells up here. I don't know what it is. Do you smell it? I almost smell like some kind of gases or something.
I did
coming.
take a shower tonight, it's not.
No, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. It's actually about to choke me out.
Oh, really?
You don't
Really?
smell it?
I don't smell it either, and I have a pretty strong
Wow.
sense of smell. I can't hear it, but I
I just
can
want to make
smell
sure.
it.
But,
We can turn the fans on to help.
no, nobody else smells it. Must be me. Must be just me.
Okay, let's finish, Mr.
So
Palatka.
anyway, right, I see you was referring to the attorney, so I mean, if that has to happen, maybe you have a better explanation.
Sure. So this was an extremely blighted piece of property that was deemed a imminent public health risk. It was already incurring some fines, and then it had a structural fire. Neighbors had reported that children were using ladders to climb into the structure, and so we needed to take immediate action. So we did hire a demolition company, and they demolished the entire structure for $4,500. On top of that, there were administrative fees of $250. The property owner, who's an institutional investor based out of South Florida, it was actually difficult to get the reimbursement on these funds, but we finally did succeed in getting fully reimbursed on the entire demolition charge. Once the property was completely abated, and you can see the photos there, the demolition crew put down straw on the property, it was deemed to be in compliance. All of the code violations that had been cited in the code lien had been fully complied with. And at the point of full compliance, the property owner is entitled to seek a full lien reduction. It is obviously within the discretion of the city commission on whether or not to allow that, and I have explained that to the property owner. However, it is in full compliance, and I will tell you that I had property owners across the street. This particular street is in the process of being developed. New houses are going up. The developer of one of those houses came up and thanked the city for demolishing this structure because he was unwilling to buy any more lots to put up new construction because this house was such a blight in the neighborhood that it was deterring sales. So overall, it was mission accomplished in terms of getting rid of the blight in the neighborhood.
Okay, so I get that. And this is an investment property, and it's up to them to keep it up to code compliance. For us to have to get someone to come in and clean it first before they take any actions, I think we did what we supposed to have done. Now, personally, I would be okay with reducing the fine. He paid back what we charged for demolition, what we were charged for demolition.
Correct.
So how is he penalized if we reduce the lien to zero, balance out? I'm just asking a question, Ms. West.
Do you want to?
Go ahead.
This is a question to Ms. West.
Let Ms. West
If you don't
respond,
mind,
and then we'll
Commissioner.
go to you.
That, again, I'll reiterate what the planning director said. The primary objective of code enforcement is to eliminate blight, to improve our neighborhoods. And that was accomplished where there was a nominal administrative fee of $250. But the overall purpose of code enforcement is not to be a revenue generator for the city. The goal is to eliminate blight, and that was accomplished.
Yeah, the overall goal, and I get it. I guess I won't win this argument, but not argument, but to get revenue back is going to have to be, in our departments, some of them going to have to start being self-sufficient, or at least bringing in some funds. And I was just saying, as a department that goes out and put a lot of work, they put a lot of work into doing this. I think that we should not just zero out, we should not zero out these liens due to the fact of the time, the resources that we put into it. Yes, they got to compliance, but all of them don't. And a lot of them that we zero out, zero balance, it'd be up, like if it was a structure there, it'd probably be there 6 more months. Now, it probably will, what we did one on 19th Street, same difference. It's back in the deplorable conditions it was in before. So something got to have some teeth in it. This don't have enough teeth in it when we do this. I'm just saying this to my colleagues up here. This is an example. This is a good example. That's how that lot on 19th Street looked when they first did it. But it don't look like that now. It's back to the same condition. So if a person could say, well, we'll let it grow up again, the city will clean it off, we'll just play the city back. It's a revolving action until the neighbor who wants to buy the lot, to build the lot, end up buying it from them, because that's probably what's going to happen right here. So they just held the property and got it right for sale. I guarantee you, in 30, 60, 90 days, the people who was doing the redevelopment over there probably buy that lot now. So I know it was a push elsewhere. I don't know who owned land, and I don't know who is next to the developer, but that's what's been happening. That's where the push is coming from. And we know that it has to be somebody pushing for the neighbors or somebody pushing for these lots to be cleaned up. But not at the city expenses, we get $250 back. That don't make sense to me. I just wanted to put it because I wanted to say that.
Commissioner Davis?
Attorney West, I was going to say exactly what she said, so I'm going to yield to Commissioner Campbell.
So I do have a question, per se, and this is something that I believe that was discussed, and it may be even before the administration that we have now. I do believe that there were conversations that were from the dais that we were no longer reducing at 100%, that we would be willing to consider a 50% reduction. And that's why we also stated, and I'm going back to consent agenda, that these items would not be on consent agenda and that they would be on regular business so that we can identify them individually. And I do believe we've previously stated or went by what we've stated of only accepting a 50% reduction versus 100%.
Commissioner Bourne?
Yes, I concur with other commissioners' statements about the reduction. It's pretty clear, in my opinion, because it's basically policy. Our policy, what we just implemented, we had numerous people, Mr. Holmes and the previous commission, we helped set that to 50% because there's a lot of work and labor went into this whole thing as it relates to bringing from blight to bright. So how can we supersede or skirt around a policy that we set, and then it's going to go to the consent agenda? I don't understand that.
Commissioner, thank you.
First is policy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we set that policy that nothing below 50%, and we want to go to zero. We're starving our community, taxpaying communities out. We're starving the people out, and we're giving it over to people who have money, the developers. What is wrong? Help me understand that.
May I respond?
You may.
Thank you. Commissioner, I'm not certain if the administration we have now are even aware of the policy you just mentioned about this 50%, but I will make certain, because now you've said it.
It's been in play. It's been in play for some time.
Then I'm going to make certain that we're following the policy because,
We've
can't
talked.
say I personally knew, but I will now make certain of it. So perhaps it was just before I got here.
You said
But
No,
I'll
it
make
was-
certain. The 50, you said that.
We've been talking about this for some time since Right to
So
Blight, and
who-
we talked about these things. Every time we've had people who came before the commission, and there's been things on the agenda since you've been here that's talked about nothing less than 50% because it's the policy. So we all know about the policy.
We don't know.
We know about the
We will
policy.
follow up on.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we can go back to a lot of everything that's been lean reduction, we can go back to the policy.
Yes,
And
sir.
and we've discussed it.
I will personally go back and make certain that we are aware and following policy.
Right, and so that will not get less than 50% because that's policy, and we can't violate our own policy.
Thank you.
I would like to make sure clearly, that in the future, we're going to bring, not as a consent agenda item, a lien reduction, and we're going to place it as a regular agenda item for discussion.
And then the city did all the work. The city even went above and beyond to go take the action to go and hire the company and only receive $250
No,
back.
we got reimbursed for the
Well,
cost of
we
demolition.
got the money back, it's not that we didn't get the
All
money
on-
back.
all
But I
on the
agree with
city's part.
Commissioner Jones, I agree with you. And actually, I would like, this is just my personal desire, I would like, this money that come from lien reduction or from liens that we collect,
Right.
that it goes not to the general fund, but it goes to a fund that will be administered by code enforcement, so we can put that money back in the neighborhood.
We said that as
That's what I
well.
would like to do, and I was planning on doing that in the next budget cycle, to create that account, so that money doesn't go into general fund, but it goes back to code enforcement, so we can put back into the community.
Self-sufficient department. That's exactly what I'm talking about, sir.
But that's what we had communicated, Commissioner.
We've said it. So I
We,
don't know
we,
why
no,
it's not-
we made clear that it would go back because that's how they were able to hire additional code enforcement people, because when they went out and did the work, that funding came from doing the work out from Bright to Blight, from Blight to Bright.
But right now, all the liens that we collect goes to general fund.
We need to keep it in the fund that is generated.
May I ask, did we
Go ahead.
come to what we're going to do? So we're saying the
Yes.
same
we-
thing over and over.
So at this point, it sounds like we're definitely pulling. Yes. So we need a motion.
So
to-
I'll make a motion that we accept a 50% lien reduction.
Second. Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? No.
Thank you.
And maybe Ms. West can help with the ordinance to, a policy where finance would actually put those liens and the funds from them, create that, so to go for code enforcement only. Thank you.
It's already created.
On to regular business. Go ahead.
Weren't we on that item? Or do we need a motion?
We just did it.
Oh, did we say table?
Not now.
We just voted on it.
We just voted on that.
No,
Yes, we just voted.
no, I know we just.
Mayor, I'd like to ask a question,
I know,
please.
please.
So are we saying we're not going to release the lien on 1315 Law Street? The motion was to accept a 50% reduction. Was it on this particular item? That's my question. Or was that a general statement?
That was with reference to that item.
Thank you. That was my question.
Thank you.
Okay, so for
And
for
is that
clarification.
clarification on the motion itself? Please read it back and what we,
I understand the motion. What that means is that the lien is going to remain in effect for the 4,750 plus half of what the original code enforcement lien was, 5,000, bringing it right back up to almost $10,000. Just so everyone understands.
Yeah, because right now, he's just reimbursing the city.
So
He's not
let
paying
me
nothing
make-
for a fine of $250.
Let me make it clear. The reduce of a lien to someone who is an investor that does not live in our city, there would be a different conversation had they been planted here, they're investing here. But ultimately, a lot of times, let's be honest, we have individuals that buy property in our city that doesn't live here, probably never been here, or doesn't come. And so, again, we are tasked with making sure that code enforcement, going out and doing all the work, this is an investor. This is a part of his investment. So I don't feel any kind of way taking a lien back up, because if you are an investor, you know that you have to pay money in order to make money.
I wanted to make
Wants
sure everyone
clarification.
understood the math on what was going to remain.
I understood.
Yep.
It calculates out right.
one at a time, please. Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
So I want to get clarification as well. I'm clear on this item, and I do understand. But I believe it was mentioned that it was approved prior, obviously, to me being on the commission, that we would not accept we would accept a 50%. So the motion we just made was for this item, but is it still in place that on any
And I was gonna
lien?
make that.
Because that's
I was
what
gonna-
my, okay.
I was gonna make that request during my comment, and that's why I stressed the fact of bringing back policy or reviewing policies that have been set up to ensure that we are following, because I can distinctly tell you, we've sat on here within the last year and a half and had this conversation, and like I said, this was prior to you. We've had this conversation numerous of times, and we actually had individuals in the room that we apologized to, but we stuck to our policy. And it was several people in that room that night that we just had to stick to our policy. So that's how, and I would make the recommendation that we bring that policy back to the commission, just for.
Okay, and just so you know, I didn't finish my question, but thank you for that. What I was going to say is I want to make sure staff understands and is getting clear direction. If they're going to bring that policy back and it's 50% and it's already in place, that's fine. The reason I asked it, because you just made the statement about an investor versus someone who's in this community. Let
her finish, please.
Let me finish. I just want to make sure that staff understands that we're asking for them to bring back that policy where it's in place for 50%, and it's 50% regardless
Yes.
going
Right,
forward.
whether you live here or not.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
that your
what you're saying.
comment made it sound like
Right.
they're
No, I
gonna
was-
put.
I get
Different
it.
standards. for-
That's all. I'm just trying to get clarification for
Right.
myself as well.
Right.
Thank you. Okay.
Any further discussion on this item? We will move on to team building, regular businesses, specifically team building.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, from the last commission meeting, Human Resource was tasked with obtaining some venues as well as facilitators. You all were provided with the quotes that we had received back, as well as a copy of the scope of work that was sent out to those individuals. So I did send out, so what we have here is the three quotes, one from Dynasty, one from Acromoff, I can hardly say that, and Community Hands of Hope were the three vendors that submitted proposals that we reached out to. Two of them were from previous, one was a new one. So those were the facilitators. The venues, I reached out to the Ravine Gardens, Crystal Cove, as the two. I did try to get a bowling alley and Stagia, bowling alley in St. Augustine, as well as Dave and Buster's in Gainesville, but those individuals did not have meeting rooms that would accommodate the facilitation. So I was unable to get an activity in with a room to do the facilitating. So with Ravine Gardens, and they just got back with me today, actually a little bit before coming to this meeting, that their availability on the dates that I was suggesting, they don't have it, so they're filled. Crystal Cove, they do have the availabilities, and another place that I could recommend that I would like to look into, and I didn't have time before this meeting, once I got the information from the Ravine, is the Senior Center on Westover Drive. It's a meeting room big enough to facilitate and do the activities, to have an activity as well as the facilitation of the team building, which would be, I had two vendors. What my thought pattern was, I'm painting with a twist that would allow, yes, sir.
You can talk, I was just waiting so that the mayor know that I have a statement.
That's fine. You keep going, please.
Okay. Okay, so painting with a twist, and I had two vendors. One was called Paint the Town, which all of the amounts, I sent that out as well, was a cost of $32 per person and I was thinking more of just seeing how everybody paints to collaboratively come together, if they were painting a picture of the river or something here in the town. So that would be an activity, since I couldn't get a facility that had, like Topgolf like we had. We were able to play golf and then have the facilitation. So those were things that I came up with for your consideration as I was asked to bring back. So tonight, we're just trying to figure out the dates that I did. I was trying to keep it in March, so set at the late time, March the 28th, April 18th, and the 25th, because I think you all wanted a Saturday, unless it's the will of the commission for another date. So I tried to keep it on Saturdays, were available dates that I was able to come up with.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell first.
With regards to the facilities, have you contacted Community Affairs?
No. No,
Because
sir.
if we are looking to host here in Palatka at another venue that costs, and we have a venue that's bigger than the venues that you've established or that you've contacted, it's a cost-saving mechanism, and we have a big enough facility. We have Jenkins, we have Jenkins, we have a community, the gym, or we have the actual recreation room that is bigger than half the places that you stated.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna just give my feedback. Ms. Jones already knows my feedback. When I think of a team building exercise for a group of people, it is typically planned based on the requirements we've given. We may have to look at some options of dates because it's for more than the 5 of us, is my understanding. Is this not for
The team leaders.
the team leaders of the city as well, meaning, okay. And so what I'm personally looking for is coming back and saying, we will be having team building with this vendor, meeting these requirements from 8 to 4, 9 to 3, and here are date options that work for the majority of people who need to be there. What I'm not sure about is why we need to come up with the what, who, how, where. And that's just, it just doesn't seem efficient or effective to me. So that's my comment. So I will never have any input on where we have it, but I do agree with Commissioner Campbell. If it's local, we need to use our own facilities. But in terms of whether we paint or whether we make a boat, I'm not sure that that's what we need to be deciding.
Do you have something to say,
Yeah,
Commissioner Barr?
yes, I agree with Commissioner Campbell, and I agree with Commissioner Davis. Again, if we're going to do some things, we got Palatka Golf Course, and we can actually go out and play half a game, 9 holes as opposed to 18, and still accomplish the same thing. I think they got enough space out there for us to be meeting in that space. And so, again, we do have facilities that we can utilize, and if we're going to pay any money out and give it to the golf course, I think they need a few funds.
I can agree with all that. My thought too, and this may not be something this commission is likely to change within the year, and I'm wondering if this really is a good time with everything else we have scheduled. Don't smile so broadly, Commissioner Barr, but that there are some people that may not be sitting up here, and we're doing team building for a team that's is going to change, I think, significantly after the first of the year. So I guess I'm questioning whether we should be spending the money and doing this now, or should we wait?
Mayor, I actually agree with you.
How
And,
shocking.
If you take in consideration, even the last time we did it with an interim city manager versus a permanent city manager, and I don't think it was as effective as it could have been. And given that this board could change, again, I think that was a very valid point, Mayor, and I would recommend that we don't proceed with it if it involves the commission. But if the team building exercise will benefit our staff, go ahead with it.
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vacation policy, Ms. Jones.
So the vacation policy, just to try to keep in line to make sure that you all, we continue moving the policies and update it. There's only a couple of things on the vacation policy that is before you. With the upgrade into the ADP system, our vacation time is now calculated bi-weekly with every pay. So once an employee has worked their 2 weeks, they get their, whatever their allocated time, so they're able to utilize that instead of waiting to the end of the month. So that language was changed, and then the other word, just to make consistency on item H, was just changed to add hours per week so that it would be consistent in the language that was reviewed there. Those were the only changes that were needed to update this policy.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions or want additional information? No? Okay, thank you. Is there any direction we want to provide, or?
No, I mean, this is not, this just, we don't have, this is not an action item, is it?
It's just the vacation policy.
It's just a vacation policy, I just want to make sure.
But if anybody may want to
Yeah,
comment.
I mean, if we're fine, that's fine. Go ahead, Commissioner Davis.
Question. This is a general question. So we're getting like the vacation policy. I think we had a grievance policy last month. May I understand how is the vacation policy chosen? How was the grievance policy chosen? Like, are you going through the whole handbook? Are we, I'm not
Yes.
sure, because things are
Everything that
coming
needed update.
randomly.
So there was a list created years ago that listed items that needed to be updated. Some of them are taking more time to get more accurate information into them. So in order to just keep them moving, the ones that take very minimal, some of them take longer. And we've had some that I bought here that were much more detailed than this one. So just to make sure I had one on here at the direction of the city manager to say, keep them coming, I wanted to bring one for you all. Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Any further questions? Go ahead, Commissioner Bell.
Right, and I think what Commissioner Davis is looking for is something like maybe what we have, 3, 6, 9 months or a year out policies that we'll be considering or looking at the address or whatever, from short-term to long-term, things that may be considered. I think that would be helpful.
Anybody else? Thank you. On to public hearings. A, second reading, adopt ordinance 2026-18, an ordinance of the City of Palatka, Florida, amending the Public Municipal Code to establish regulations for public murals. We have several public comment cards. Before we go on to that, I think I'm going to ask for a bit of clarification. I know today in reading people's concerns that the biggest, well, not the biggest, but one of the major concerns was whether this will impact the ability to have painted windows for holidays or specific events. And those are not considered permanent, those are short-term, so those are not issues in this ordinance that will require a permit or any other process. Maybe you could explain more clearly, Ms. West.
Under section 2 of the definitions, this pertains only to permanent media. And under section 3, applicability and scope, it pertains to only new murals. There's no retroactive application of this ordinance. So all the murals that currently exist are grandfathered in, and it pertains only to exterior walls. So
And permanent murals, not something for an event or a holiday. So as far as the windows being painted by Mr. Kenton and whoever else may do that, this does not fall under that or have any other.
The gentleman that painted the windows here?
Yeah, he is, and he's got a public comment card, so we're going to call him up in a minute. Thank you. With that, we'll go to public comment. Gregory Lord.
Do we, I think we have to accept.
Okay, well, 1 second, Mr. Lord. You can come up to the
I'll
deck.
make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second,
Got a motion and a second.
for
Mr.
discussion.
I'm sorry.
We just motioned and seconded.
Right, I heard it. Yes. Come on, Mr. Lord. Please give us your name and city or town of residence.
Yes, ma'am. Greg Lord, I live in San Mateo, but I have a business here in Palatka. You answered everything that I want to talk about, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Huggins, here he is, the man that paints the windows. Come up, name and city or town of residence.
I am Kent Huggins. I live in Palatka, Florida at 105 2nd Avenue, number 302. Madam Mayor and Commissioners, it's my honor to address you. I am the guy that's painting all those windows downtown. And most of them I donate. I don't quote prices for them, and I only work for gratuity. My medium is water-based. I clean the windows before I paint them. I paint them, and then I come take them down, and I clean the windows and leave them cleaner than I found them. The paintings that are on that street that are permanent are not my paintings. And I spend my time, I'm retired disabled American veteran, and I do this as a hobby. It keeps my hands and my mind busy. I'm retired in this town. I love this place, by the way. We're all blessed to live here.
Thank you.
And so you did answer all the questions that I have. I'm gracious that this town allows me to paint on any of these buildings. I just so thankful. So I believe in the stewardship of the town, and I just try to spend my time balancing some misspent youth, fixing some karma, and paying my way by being a decent citizen. And that's something I'll tell you all, while I'm here, I will be an honorable citizen in this city. So I appreciate your patience and your understanding and the clarity on this subject, and I look forward to painting a lot more windows in this town.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for everything you've done for us. Shelley Shanker.
Good evening, I'm Shelley Shanker, and I live in East Palatka, and I run the Arts Alliance that is at the Larimer Art Center. So there was a letter to the editor this week that stirred up a lot of the creative community like a bee's nest, because I think some things were misunderstood, and I hope they were misunderstood. You have before you on this agenda a 3-page ordinance about murals and the mural committee, and I understand that it's the intention of the commission to try to give some parameters so that we know where we're going, but I want to say that I see that you recognize the importance of murals and paintings, and that it is a direct barometer of a vibrancy of a community. But when we try to standardize or have approval systems like an HOA, I left South Florida to get away from HOAs, and I don't want our city to become one where somebody on a committee gets to decide what is or isn't appropriate, because my taste in art is very different from most people in this room. If I buy a property, I may have a business idea that relies on some outlandish piece that's going to grab somebody's attention and show what's going on in that business. It also, I have seen this happen in our town, that some of our beautiful historic murals, which I love, and I love that committee and what they have done for the murals in this town, but there are people who really struggle with the fact that they bought a piece of property that has one, and now they're required to upkeep it. And that is in this new ordinance, that you are, if you're trying to get a mural put on your building, you're signing up for the long haul. And that's going to change how you can and cannot sell your property in the future. Because if you've put a beautiful mural on your property and then you sell it, what if I come in with that new thing that I want to get rid of it? I have to jump through hoops because of your taste in art or your sense of what was right or wrong. I really think that I hope you don't pass this ordinance the way it's written. I think that there's a lot of problems in it. I hope that it is incorrect that it applies to homes as well, which was stated in that letter to the editor, that we were going to start monitoring everything in somebody's yard, and I thought, no, I don't think that's it. I will say that I'm really proud of the work you did last time on creating that committee that's for public art, and that it needs to be clear that also is not about the art you decide to put in your yard. That's about how we spend public dollars, and that process, whoever signs up for those committees is signing up for a really big job, because public art is no joke. It's got a lot of hoops to jump through, and it's going to take a lot of work. So I'm glad you put that place together. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll respond at the end. Please, no applause. Pam Garris.
Pam Garris, Palatka, Florida. Commissioners and Mayor. I bring to your attention the Florida Senate Statute 180 passed in 2025, which prohibits local governments, that is counties and cities, from enacting regulations that are, quote, more restrictive or burdensome, unquote, on developers and property owners. The new proposed mural ordinance is scheduled for the second reading and your vote for approval this evening. This ordinance defies the authority of Florida Statute 180 as stated. Example, the Historic Preservation Board of the City of Palatka was advised several times in the last year, and as recent as last week's meeting, that they could not enact new restrictions in ordinances that were not established before Statute 180 was passed. The resolution that was passed on February 26, 2026, forming a 6-member Public Arts Advisory Committee, is a moot point. There will be no restrictions for them to enforce. The mural ordinance for the committee to rule on cannot exist according to Florida Statute 180 that was passed into law in 2025. The mural ordinance states that it applies to all new murals proposed on exterior walls of both public and private buildings within Palatka. The ordinance dictates that the planning department issue a mural permit, but does not divulge that first you have to go through the Public Arts Advisory Committee. This committee will review and advise on proposals for sculptures, monuments, memorials, installations, artist-designed functional elements, temporary exhibits, and other public and private art projects. This would also include art on private property. Maybe I'm wrong stating that. I'm not sure. Is there any clarification on that, such as storefronts, sidewalk art shows, those at the Tillman House and the Larimer? One example of the restrictions of the city ordinance is that property owners must maintain the mural indefinitely, and violations shall be enforced through civil code enforcement procedures, which include fines, possible ruling to restore and repaint a mural according to the Public Arts Advisory Committee's rulings. The Public Arts Advisory Committee has no requirements for legal residency in Palatka or Putnam County. This means out-of-city and county residents not elected by the voters of the city could dictate that city residents what city residents and businesses could legally put on their property, storefront, or building. Never before in Palatka city government has a city government committee been formed that can be reappointed with no term limits. Again, this public art ordinance and Public Arts Advisory Committee cannot exist to enforce restrictions that did not exist prior to the passage of Florida Statute 180 passed in 2025. I implore the City Commission to not pass this proposed mural ordinance upon its second reading tonight. It defies Florida Law Statute 180. Thank you for your service to the citizens and business owners of our beloved city.
Ms. Duke, no applause, please. Ms. Duke?
Vicki Duke, Palatka, Florida. I'm concerned about this mural restrictions too. I didn't find something that actually gave me a lot of details other than the words that are listed here. But I know that at the first reading, we talked about one of the, Ms. Kitchens mentioned it applying to only new murals, that wasn't written in the policy. And our concern about our wonderful mural committee that has spent all these years making sure that the murals that went up were accurate and were appropriate, or at least under general guidelines, and then the maintenance on it and their budget to help maintain those. And as Ms. Kitchens mentioned at the last meeting, with the plans that they already had in place and the money they already had in place to restore the murals that were here. And I was concerned, and I still am concerned about the way this reads as to, does that do away, this mural committee won't exist anymore because they're going to have to be under these guidelines. And as far as, we have seen murals painted over when we got our cricket office and we lost the mug race boats on that wall and was painted over. It concerns me. This just concerns me, and I don't think there was enough detail. I didn't get enough detail on it with the first reading as to how that was going to apply to the committee that has existed and has worked so hard to keep the city's murals taken care of. And that's my concerns with this new one.
Thank you. Ms. Einzelman? Rosie?
Robbie, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
My name is Rosina Eisenman. I live in San Mateo, but I have an art shop downtown on St. John's Avenue. Thank you for clarifying the window art, because even though my art is not painting windows, I do display my art in my windows. And it did kind of concern me as to whether or not we would be able to continue to have this quaint, adorable, artsy town that we have We have our very own little Mayberry right here. And with Kent doing all of the windows the way he has been, I sit in my shop and I watch families go by. I watch tourists come by. Some come into the shop. A lot of them talk about, oh my gosh, did you see what was over on this window? And oh my gosh, did you see, this was so cool. And I looked at, I didn't see that. And I love the fact that they're coming downtown. And I love the fact that these same people that are coming downtown, they get hungry. So where are they going to go? To the mom and pop restaurants. They get thirsty. They're going to go to our mom and pop restaurants. They see, oh my gosh, there's a little antique shop around the corner. I didn't know that was there. Look at this, look at that. They're going to go to Miss D's Quilts. They're going to come in my shop. This is an encouragement to continue bringing outsiders and locals into our town. We have a beautiful downtown, and I'm watching it become more and more beautiful every day. And I love the fact that it is geared towards families, and I love the fact that we are bringing more art to our town. Thank you so much for allowing the windows to continue to be painted and for continuing to make this a fun place to work and live.
Thank you. To be clear, the mural committee, because I was on it for many years too, has always had to, for each mural, get a permit from the planning board for a sign. It was treated as a sign, which it is not. It's public art. So they have always had to go through a process to put it up a mural. Secondly, it says that the building owner or their designee, in the case of the mural committee, they have always been responsible for prepping, getting the mural painted, and then maintenance. That would come to the designee category. So that would still continue if it was a mural that they were sponsoring, essentially. A majority of the murals that the mural committee has had done, the funding, the majority of the funding, there were some donations, but the majority has come from the CRA. So it's coming from tax dollars. So that's another factor to consider in terms of boundaries. Right now, a mural, a property owner could put anything on their exterior wall. There is no restrictions. So it could be something that you would feel uncomfortable with, but right now there are no rules, essentially. I think if Ms. West has any further clarification, those were some of my concerns. Huh?
No, you did quite well.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, thank you for the clarity that you gave.
Thank you. So I think we need some parameters. Whether this is the end-all, be-all, I'm not sure. If there's, again, I know people were primarily, at least I get the sense, concerned about painting on the windows, but there are people who are concerned about the benefit, how the mural committee itself will be impacted. Other people should also be able to put forth some concepts for public art, including murals, and have that opportunity as well. Go ahead, Commissioner Dean.
You know, as I'm listening to the comments and I'm looking at the ordinance, this ordinance is specifically for public murals.
Correct.
We just established a public art committee. And so I think what I'm leaning towards now is this is very specific to a type of art, a type of public art. So if we had someone who put a sculpture up in front of their business, would in the city or even in the CRA districts, this would not apply because this is specific for murals. Would it not benefit the city to have a
Overall public art.
overall public art ordinance or something? So that's just something, I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, I was really wondering why the mural committee was really upset. And then when I went back and really read this after, you know, our initial vote, I read it the first time and I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is just for murals. But when I think of public art, I think of more than that. In addition, I know in here it mentioned that some of the murals may be submitted for historic designation or something of that fact, which could then be that those specific murals could fall into a category versus just any other mural that someone agreed to put on their store. Hearing the comment made about the impact to potential buyers of buildings if that's not something they wanted, but just something I'm thinking about. In addition, I know I'm introducing something different, but I live across, where I live, where the old Hammock Hall, you know, there's a mural on the side of that building, but that building was now changed to residential. And it's an amazing mural. I hope they never get rid of it, but that's their prerogative, right? Because that's something that will fall outside of this, because now that's someone's private property and a private home. So just putting out some things for
And
thought.
that mural was sponsored and paid for by the South Historic Neighborhood Association. I happened to be president of it at that time, and we did maintain it. The current owners are committed to keeping it, but that doesn't say anything about future owners. So yes, it could be painted over.
And their personal commitment could change. It's
Of
not a
course,
law.
of
So
course.
I just want to,
And the mural, the mud race mural, got painted over because Cricket put the sign on, and they were not willing to move it, and it was their building, well, it wasn't their building, they were leasing it, but they were not willing to move it. So we said, if you can't move it, we're going to paint it over because you're really obscuring the appearance of the mural. And that's how that mural went away and ended up on another building as well. It's a constant struggle each time a building's sold, though. That's been a struggle the mural committee's been dealing with in terms of getting the property owner to consider keeping it, and also some responsibility for the ownership. But the mural committee has taken responsibility. Also, to clarify, the Public Art Advisory Committee that we did approve by resolution last week, there are specific terms within that. I think Ms. Garris wrote that up. There are terms in that. And other city boards do have, excuse me, or can have non-residents on their boards. This is not the only one. So.
one other thing, Mayor, I don't believe I saw here a mention of, do I see something in this ordinance about the Public Art Committee?
It's on a separate, that was the resolution.
No. My question is, did I see anything in this ordinance related to
Yes.
the, yes, and can you remind me where it is? Section 5?
Yes, the city may establish optional guidelines for a public art advisory committee, which you did do last time by resolution, to provide design advice and community input on murals. There's nothing mandatory about the language.
Correct. That's the point I wanted to bring out, that, because I know some of the comments I've been getting in the community have mixed the two, you know, that resolution, this ordinance, and they're separate and distinct. But just seeing this, that this committee may provide advice, whatever, and input on murals. But it's not mandatory. And then I think my other question was, when this goes to be submitted to planning, they get the details. What I know with our experience when things go to planning, and I'm going to use this, and I don't mean to minimize the work, there's a checklist of things that it has to legally meet. And if it meets these legal obligations or legal requirements, then it really can, should move forward. So my question is too, is in this ordinance, when it says that these items get submitted to the planning department to get the permit, it has to have the rendering, location, all of that information, proof of property owner. Review and approval is where I have a question. And that is because that's not as black and white. Is it consistent with historic and architectural context? Who will make those decisions? Is that the planning department? Conform with safety and structural integrity standards. Okay. The panels, I know it says coordinate. We encourage coordination with the mural committee. Compliance with content neutrality consistent with the First Amendment precedents. And content can't be regulated. So I'm going to use the word squishy, because those are a little more squishy. And my question then, to bring this all home, is that going to be the planning department will determine that? That's the question.
Yes, and the planning director or the planning director's designee will review the application for that. I agree that a lot of this is squishy. Almost everything under the First Amendment is squishy. However, I would note that it's the application requirements that I think are probably going to provide the most protection for the city, specifically things like the maintenance manual and the proof of property owner consent. Some of the things that have come into play here is the ongoing maintenance of the murals, and also the selling, as you mentioned, of buildings when there's a mural on it. If you have a plan in place on the change of ownership, it will
Right.
help with everyone's understanding.
Okay. So for the record, I do want to just say that hearing the comments and reviewing this and some of the questions I've raised tonight is giving me pause now. I know we had the first passing of this, but I am concerned of some things that I had not encountered, but I just want to put that out there. Thank you.
Anybody else have any thoughts?
No, just a pause though.
A pause thought.
Caution, based on what I've heard, new information and among other things, and we have to be very, very careful the things that we approve as ordinances in our city, that we don't do anything to become a detriment to others.
Okay, and with that, go ahead.
I'm a little, I understand, but what's the hesitancy? Like, I get what you're saying, but like, what, can you give us more specifics as to, well, hey, what do we need to pump our brakes on versus, is it something that staff needs to bring back to us? Is it the rewording? Is it the, like, I understand that you want to pump your brakes, but can you give a little bit more detail as to why?
Yes. So I will tell you, I am in favor of some type of ordinance for, as it mentions here, a regulatory framework, right? And to have consistency with maintenance expectations. What I am concerned about is that with the application packet, that's pretty straightforward. But the review and approval is required to make sure there's these items that I think are subjective. That's not what my concern is. The other thing is, I'm all for history. I mean, I was born and raised in this town. But art is subjective, and I'm concerned that we're painting ourselves, and yes, pun intended, into a box. I think when I look at some of the things that need to be shown for approval, you know, the consistency with historic and architectural context, and that is coming through the planning department. I'm not, that's what I'm not comfortable with. Specifically, I hope that answers your question.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Because I wanted
yeah.
to have that perspective.
Yeah.
So thank you, that's why I asked.
Okay,
Because
thanks.
A lot of times we agree, you know, but I want to be able to dive deeper into, you know, take me to another level on my thinking, so.
So in summary, we still see a need for something. We might want to modify this or have some suggested changes made. I agree, art is subjective, and I think we are limiting ourselves sometimes. And that has been the focus historically of the mural committee, to just depict historic events and/or individuals of the city and the county and natural resources. Maybe there is a broader area to go to. Go ahead,
So
Commissioner.
hearing the consensus, there is a motion on the floor.
There is.
That we need to
Close,
adhere to or
yeah.
close and move forward with.
I had one comment
Did you want,
first.
we have a
before-
comment from
before we
Commissioner Warren
close.
first.
And when we talk about subjective art, I mean, that takes me back to our code enforcement and what we're trying to do with some of the things as it relates to things that's violated, a number of things over the years that we cannot do anything with. We've taken it to the magistrate, and we can't do anything more with it. And so that property it would be far from anything of art, but um, you cannot challenge what someone deems to be art. And so basically, again, so when we start to put parameters around things, among other things, we need to just be careful that, like Commissioner Davis said, don't paint yourself into a box. So that's all I have.
So as far as the motion,
Question.
all in favor?
Nay? Oh, no, I'm waiting. I'll wait for my turn.
Thank you. All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
So, as far as direction, I would like for us to take in consideration, and I know you all don't like this word, but a workshop that would allow us to have a community buy-in, so that we can make sure that as we proceed, that we don't put out a sense of that we aren't,
Taking their views into
taking-
consideration.
Absolutely, so I would take this into consideration for a workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you all for your comments.
Facebook, stand down. Social media, stand down.
First reading, ordinance 2026-19, an ordinance of the City of Palatka, Florida, revising the Code of Ordinances of the City of Palatka, Florida by providing for an update to the benefits payable to firefighter pension retirees.
Mayor, I have Anna Paris.
Okay, Parish.
If you have any questions, she's available for answering.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Your motion is second. Does anybody have any questions of Ms. Parish? She's zooming? Okay. Is there anybody here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. First reading ordinance 2026-22, an ordinance of the City of Palatka, Florida, calling, providing for a referendum election for submission to the electors of the City of Palatka of proposed amendments to the city charter pursuant to Section 166.031, Charter Amendments. Providing for, motion to approve?
Second.
Motion is second. Is anybody here for public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to Commissioner comments. Commissioner Campbell.
I actually have three quick things that I would want to bring forth. Most organizations or corporations annually have a day that's dedicated solely to employees and their families. I would like for us to take in consideration possibly hosting a City of Palatka Day where we actually bring someone in to plan the event so that it does not fall on our staff, but provide, a lot of times our staff gives so much of their times and their families is affected in a way because they're giving to so many others. And this will be a day that we promote a sense of family, a sense of community, and a sense of thanking our employees of the City of Palatka. So that would be something that I would love for us to take in consideration, having that day. Also, I want to mention that our chaplain,
Pastor
Mr.
Mulberry.
Pastor Mulberry has taken on an incentive to save our sons in the City of Palatka. And this upcoming meeting, which on the 23rd will be our third meeting, but we've had a strong support. Some of the commissioners were present. We've had individuals from DJJ, we've had Palatka Police Department, we've had educators, we've had pastors, all who came in hopes of saving our son. So our next upcoming meeting is on the 23rd at 6:30 at the Jenkins Recreation Center. And this meeting is open to all male figures. We speak to our sons, but again, all male figures are welcome to attend this event, well, not an event, this meeting, that we plan and strategize on ways that we could save the young men in our community. So if you are available for that, please do so. Several months ago, I made the request that we have a lot of city employees who help save the city money by taking on a lot of repairs. And I asked that we bring back an incentive program that would incentivize those who put forth an effort to, one, save the city money, to see how we can put back into their pockets. And I would like an update with regards to where we are.
Okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Jones?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Commissioner Barr?
Yeah, I concur with Commissioner Campbell about the incentive for our staff. I pushed that out sometime back as well in terms of looking out for those who look out for the city on a number of different things over the past several years. So I concur with Commissioner Campbell on that. I do support the effort as it relates to saving our young youth and young males. I haven't had the opportunity yet to get there based on my previous schedules, but I do support that wholeheartedly. Moving on to the last thing, and this will be our 9th year in combination with taking our youth to the Orlando Magic. It's the 6th year for the 6th year for the Orlando Magic, and the 3 years we took them to the Jaguars game. But up to 30 deserving students with the Palatka High School basketball team will be selected by the coaches of the staff. The coaches of Palatka High to for those students who are meeting their grades and other things associated with being a upstanding student. So that'll be on March 26th. We're going to take 30 students down, sponsored by Passero and Associates in the city of Palatka. I will provide a portion of funds to help give each student a $20 per student for concessions, as well as we're going to work with them from a mentorship standpoint, as well as challenge them and help them continue to understand what we rolled out a couple years ago, challenging those individuals to know who their leadership are in their community. A lot of times they can know their president, they can know the governor, but a lot of times they don't know the people who touch their lives every day. So we had some challenges last year with that, and they were able to come up with a few answers. Some of them were a little bit off, but they had earned a few extra dollars as it relates to that. So that's what we have coming up. Thank you.
Commissioner Davis?
Commissioners, if you want to be a part of that, you're certainly welcome to come and be a part of it March 26th.
Commissioner Davis?
I don't have any comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Just quickly, we did get an email from Mr. Cutright saying, in case you were going to attend, the St. Patrick's Day Parade has been canceled. So just to let you know. Other than that, I have no further comments either, so can we have a motion to adjourn? Thank you.
So moved.